Welcome to everyone who's joined us today. My name is Gary Lewis and I'm the Marketing Manager here at Mitsubishi Electric. As we continue through our We Know series of webinars, today we're looking forward to sharing with you what we know on the Drive Solutions Centre. If you'd like to ask a question during the session, you can do so by using the panel to the right of your screen. Please check, as this could be minimised, and we will answer as many questions as we can at the end of the session. Any questions we do not get a chance to answer, we will answer by email after the webinar. I hope you enjoyed today's session. I'm now going to hand you over to Stuart Woodhead.
Yeah, hello everybody and welcome to today's webinar. I'm Stuart Woodhead. I'm the National Sales Manager here at Mitsubishi Electric. Today what I want to do is introduce a brand new initiative called the Drive Solutions Centre. You may have already seen it mentioned in some of the trade press or online, and today I'll give you some more details about the programme. Before though, I'd just like to remind you about some of the previous We Know webinars. So these cover topics such as cybersecurity, edge computing, collaborative robots, and the most recent one was on the introduction of a brand new range of variable speed drives, the FRE 800. And you can access all these webinars by following the link at the bottom of the page. So in terms of today's presentation, what I want to do is give a quick overview of Mitsubishi Electric and look at our credentials in the variable speed drives business. Describe what we see as an end-to-end drive solution. Then I'll introduce the Drive Solutions Centre concept and what we're looking to achieve. Take a look at our partners and some of the applications and industries that they've worked in. And then give a quick overview of the resources available to support the programme. And at the end, I'll give a quick summary and then we'll take one or two questions. So before we get into the detail of the Drive Solutions Centre, I wanted to give a potted history, if you like, of Mitsubishi Electric in the variable speed drives business and share some examples of our achievements to date. Mitsubishi Electric actually produced the first all-digital drive back in the 1980s. It featured a parameter unit, a removable unit, if you like, which allowed users to make precise settings. So for example, you could change your acceleration and deceleration times by 0.01 of a second. You could use the output speed by 0.01 of a hertz. And change your current or thermal protection by 0.01 of an amp. So it gave really precise control and the ability to set things precisely and accurately, which I think we all take for granted nowadays. But back in the 80s, we were still used to setting up drives using dip switches and potentiometers. So it really was a huge step forward in terms of product development. We also introduced the first micro drive, the FRZ024, if anybody can remember that far back. This was made possible by the development of a unit called the Intelligent Power Module, which had all the switching devices, all the protective circuitry in one block. So it dramatically reduced the size required for a drive. It reduced heat losses, but it also increased protection. And it now allowed us to do things like switch the output of the drive while the drive was running without it causing any damage. So again, a major step forward. We produced the first mass market drive with auto tuning, which gave us sensorless vector control. This effectively gave us high torque at low speeds and ultra dynamic performance. This effectively gave us an increased speed range in a standard AC motor and allowed us now to take on applications that were historically reserved for more traditional DC drive solutions. We produced the first drive with auto energy optimization software. This was software that adjusted the flux of the motor to ensure that we only supply the power that's needed. It's much more efficient than the traditional method of controlling the output of a drive, which is having a fixed V to F ratio. but it effectively operates in a dynamic way, so that as the load changes, it adjusts the flux of the motor so that we're ensuring maximum efficiency all the time. And I think it's also worth noting that Mitsubishi Electric are actually the world's largest producer of variable speed drives globally. We estimate we've got something like 32 million drives installed worldwide, and at the moment producing in the region of 268,000 units a month. So it is a huge business for us. In terms of today's range, the low voltage products go up to 1.5 megawatts, and we've got a medium voltage range which goes up to 120 megawatts. So I think it's worth saying this, that Mitsubishi Electric make fantastic products, and I think many customers appreciate that, but what we want to ensure is that our customers also get a fantastic solution. So if we consider what a drive solution might look like, the first thing to consider really is that we select the right product for the application. So maybe we're looking at a wide speed range, maybe we need fast or dynamic response, is there a regen requirement, or maybe we're trying to reduce energy or eliminate wear or stress in the mechanical system, for example. So the first thing is get the right product. The next thing we need to do is understand the environmental issues. So, for example, what's the ambient temperature going to be? What's the humidity? Is the drive going to be subjected to vibration? And where's the panel actually going to be located? Will it be easily accessible? Do we need lifting equipment, etc.? We need to select the correct protective equipment for the drive and all the products in the panel. And I think more importantly now than ever, we need to understand the impact on the supply system. One of our previous webinars talks about the G55 harmonic regulations, and it's becoming a much bigger factor now for applying variable speed drives. So we need to understand the impact that the system might have on the supply, and if necessary, put in harmonic distortion correction and filtration. On the output of the drive, we need to consider what isolation might be required, how long does the cable run, what kind of motor are we controlling, standard AC induction motor, permanent magnet motor, etc. And can we apply smart condition monitoring to the motor and gearbox to help us prevent failures in the future? We could take the information from the sensor directly to the PLC that's built in the drive. Alternatively, we could actually collect that data from across the whole system, and we can now deploy a predictive maintenance solution. Obviously, this will allow us to take action before we run into issues and before we have any breakdown or stoppages. And do we want to pass information on to other systems? So, for example, reporting, alarming, or benchmarking against other similar systems. So, effectively moving towards digitalization, Industry 4, etc. And I think what's also important is not to forget the safety implications of the system, both from an electrical and mechanical point of view. So what we're looking at there is a complete end-to-end solution. And I think, as I've previously described, Mitsubishi make great products, and many of these are sold and integrated directly by the customer. We simply supply the hardware, and if required, we provide application knowledge and product support. I think, though, we need to realise that there are many instances now where customers don't have either the knowledge, skill set, or resources to take on a project, and that's particularly true for many end users, specifically when it comes to larger or complex drive systems. So the question is, how do we go from supplying, product to supplying a complete solution? And that's where the Drive Solution Centre comes in. What is it? Well, in fact, it's a network of accredited companies who've got industrial knowledge, application expertise, and trials know-how, and they can take your project from, let's say, the initial concept or idea, and then they can turn that into reality for you through design, build, installation, and commissioning of a system. They also offer a wide range of value-added services. So, for example, telephone, online or on-site support. Other services might include training or the provision of panelised iDrives for emergency breakdown. They can give advice if you're looking to reduce your energy usage or run into issues with harmonics. The Drive Solution Centre is intended to give customers complete peace of mind and to make sure all the needs are catered for, not just in the short term, but what we're looking at here is the whole life cycle of a system. The Drive Solution Centre partners will have access to the full family of Mitsubishi Electric products. So that's our programmable logic controllers, human machine interfaces, servo motion control solutions, and a full range of circuit protection and low voltage products. The partners are accredited, so officially recognised by Mitsubishi Electric as meeting the essential requirements of the scheme. So that's in terms of their technical competency and credibility, their product knowledge, application and industry expertise, and by offering ongoing levels of service and support. We'll make sure that they receive ongoing training and support on all our products, because we want to ensure that the customer receives the highest level of performance and service. And the partners will be audited regularly to ensure that we're maintaining standards. We'll work together with them to develop joint business plans for mutual development and growth. And to that end, the Drive Solution Centre partners will be supported by a dedicated team at Mitsubishi Electric, so giving them structured sales, marketing and technical support. So next I'd like to introduce our partners. Start off with Newton Tesla, who are based in Warrington. Newton Tesla are one of our longest serving customers. To my knowledge, been dealing with us for over 30 years and working in industries such as aggregates, automotive, food and bev, plastics and infrastructure. Newton Tesla have recently carried out some large DC to AC conversions, and one particularly where the customer was in a breakdown situation and losing production. So a quick response was essential. I think anybody who knows anything about DC motors know that they're not generally available off the shelf. And in this particular case, an estimate for replacing this motor, which was a 300 kilowatt DC motor, were in the range of 8 to 17 weeks, which I think is quite a long time for production to be stopped. So the quickest and easiest solution was to move to an AC solution, which was available off the shelf, and the system was back up and running in a matter of days. So obviously saving a lot of time and expense for the end user. Next, we've got Total Automated Solutions over in Yorkshire, working in aggregates, food and bev, water and chemical industries, amongst others. They've installed some really innovative renewable energy solutions using our regenerative drives. And they've also been helping manufacturing companies increase their efficiencies by, for example, integrating and coordinating multiple operating systems to ensure they get the best out of the overall process. And you'll see examples of this on their website. Engineering systems and projects in East Anglia, working in automotive, food and bev, infrastructure, water and materials handling. ESP have a lot of experience in applying drives in lifting and hoisting applications, and as well as developing bespoke conveying systems. And they're also supplying filling and packaging lines. and Lawrence Electrical in Leicestershire, with experience in aggregates, automotive, food and bev, materials handling and pharmaceuticals. Lawrence have done some fantastic work for us in terms of supporting clients over the last few months, particularly with a team of engineers responding to breakdown and emergencies, where they've managed to utilise the fleet of hire drives to get the customers up and running, and then it obviously gives them more time then to resolve any underlying issues. And you can find more information on each of the partners on the dedicated website, which you'll see in a little while. So in terms of industries, hopefully you've seen that the Drive Solution Centre partners have got experience in many industries. And here are some more examples. In terms of aggregates, we've applied smart condition monitoring on some of the large conveying systems. We've obviously looked at transfer systems in car and automotive factories, installed ventilation solutions in road and rail tunnels, and in materials handling, we've used the dedicated features of our drives in lifting and hoisting applications, also working in water and wastewater, keeping the wheels turning in our food and bev factories, and also working on renewable and green initiatives, for example, using natural resources to generate power and harvest this back onto the grid, and you'll see examples of that on some of their websites. If we look at some typical solutions then, one of the biggest applications still for variable speed drives is to provide energy saving on pumps and fans. And we know there's still a lot of motors out there which are either direct online or use star delta starters, which means that they're running at full speed 100% of the time. Often flow may be controlled using dampers or valves, but it's a really wasteful use of energy, and these are really ideal applications for energy saving schemes. In terms of predictive maintenance, a lot of customers now are moving away from traditional time-based preventative maintenance routines to ones which are based on actual information gathered from the system. This means that we can actually get notification of potential issues before they become a big problem and allow us to take action before it's too late. In terms of materials handling, we've seen a move towards much higher speed production now, and that really lends itself to our motion and servo offering, but also, you know, using the full range of variable speed drives and features like the built-in PLC. Already mentioned an application which was a DC to AC conversion that Newton Tesla carried out. And traditionally DC motors were used because they had a wide speed range that could supply torque at low speed. The downside being that DC motors have got wearing parts such as a commutator and brushes, and they need regular maintenance and inspection. And in the bottom left hand corner you can see a DC motor commutator that's quite badly worn. It's also worth noting that DC motors and spares for DC motors are not always readily available or off the shelf. And we're now looking at using AC solutions that match the performance of these DC systems, but with the added benefit of no wearing parts, reduced maintenance, and products that are available off the shelf. So obviously saving time and money. We have some specific lifting and hoisting solutions. So drives which have features such as anti-sway on a crane or hoist, and also the ability to remotely set up drives that may be difficult to access if they're on a crane gantry. What's also important is that our Drive Solution Centre partners will be there when things go wrong. So offering a full range of services and support packages to help you get things running. So whether that's through, say, remote diagnostics, the provision of spares, or supplying hire drives to keep your process going, there's a full package of offers there. Just quickly onto resources. So if you want to find out more information, there's a dedicated website, drivesolutioncentre.com, where you can look at information on each of the partners, find out more about their specific experience, and obviously look at the solutions and services that they offer. There's also a dedicated brochure, and we've got a YouTube site where you can look at product videos or application videos and case studies. So just before I summarise, I'd like to give a little bit of information on our next webinar, which is on the 11th of February, and will feature and cover smart infrastructure solutions. Mitsubishi Electric recently acquired Iconics, and there's some really good synergy between the two companies, and it's allowed for the creation of some new and exciting solutions, and we'd really like to share those with you. So you can actually follow the link at the bottom of the page to actually be able to sign up for that webinar. Obviously, I'd encourage you to do so. So just moving on to the summary. So the Drive Solutions Centre programme is being formed to expand the Mitsubishi Electric offer, and particularly for our iPower or system drives. And it's really to take us from being the supplier of just product to being able to supply complete systems. We've done this by teaming up with a network of accredited companies who can offer the complete solution. So going from that initial idea or concept through design, build, installation and commissioning, and also they can provide all the ongoing services to support you through the total life cycle of the system or product. Drive Solution Centre partners will be able to make use of all the latest products and technologies such as artificial intelligence or smart condition monitoring, and also ensure your system's fully optimized so that it's always operating at its maximum efficiency. So whether it's a single drive or a complex multi-drive system, what we want to do is make sure that the customer always gets the best possible solution. And as I've tried to outline during the presentation, our Drive Solution Centre partners can demonstrate success in many industries and across many diverse applications. As far as we go here at Mitsubishi Electric, we're determined to continue to develop the capability of the partners through provision of ongoing training and support, and through the development of joint business plans and ensuring that we have close working relationships. This is very much the launch or the start of the Drive Solution Centre programme, and we'll look to grow the network of partners. But what we won't do and what we don't want to do is compromise in terms of the quality, capability or commitment of anyone who joins the programme. And I think that really is because our aim is to offer the end user complete peace of mind. So they're safe in the knowledge that they're dealing with a highly capable organisation. That's an accredited Drive Solution Centre, and that Drive Solution Centre has been backed up by the world's largest producer of variable speed drives and one of the largest businesses in the world, which is obviously Mitsubishi Electric. So I'd like to thank you for listening today. Hopefully that's given you an insight into the Drive Solution Centre programme. And I'll now hand over to Gary to see if we've got any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stuart, for taking us through this subject today. We have had some questions come in. First one being, you mentioned you supply medium voltage drives. What are the actual voltages of the drives that you supply?
Okay, yeah, we supply a range of medium voltage products. Actually, we supply the drive and motor. They're generally sold as a match pair. We can sell them separately, but in most of these applications, they're sold as a pair. And they come in at 3.3, 6.6 and 11 kV.
Okay, thank you. Another question. How do we contact a potential DSC partner? Is it always through Mitsubishi?
Okay, well, of course you can contact anyone at Mitsubishi Electric and we'll point you in the right direction. But actually, if you look on this page, you see the Drive Solution Centre website, and your best bet really is to go to the website where you can see details on all the partners, and you can look at their experience and knowledge and choose the one that best meets your needs. On each of the individual sites, you'll see a contact us page. So there's then details in terms of email address, telephone numbers, etc. So that's the best route. But yeah, by all means, you can contact your local Mitsubishi contact as well. Okay.
Okay, and time for one more. How do you become a Drive Solution Centre partner?
Okay. Well, what I would say is if any businesses are interested in joining, then obviously please let us know and we can start the dialogue. We have a document that outlines all the criteria required for joining the Drive Solution Centre programme, and we can happily go through that. And obviously then we need to make a decision on whether that is the right decision for both parties to enter into an agreement. We do want to expand the network, but the aim is to add quality, not quantity. And I think it's fair to say all the initial partners have actually been invited to join the programme based on our history, knowledge and their capabilities, but also, you know, more so on their willingness to work with us to develop this programme and to deliver the, you know, the first class services we're striving for. But what I would say, if anyone's interested, make contact. We'll start the conversation, and you know, so long as they can demonstrate the technical capability and demonstrate a willingness to work with us, then yeah, I'm really happy to look at that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So that is all the questions we have time for today. The questions we have not managed to answer, we will respond to after the session. That concludes today's webinar, and we look forward to welcoming you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.